Hello everyone and welcome back to the ESET UK Masters, to the Showdown here with Lurlian and Maddles commentating for you, and of course Ruthold and Krass, they are going to be playing for you. We're in the second game of the series. Let's see how everything's going to unfold in the second game.
So let's start by introducing these two players. Down in the lower left position, the runner-up of the ESET UK Masters 2012 back in November, it is Krass. And his opponent down in the lower right, the red Protoss player, currently one game up, it is Todd. Now let's talk a little bit about game one, because that was pretty interesting.
It was pretty interesting. It was so well played by Krass in the early game, and so well played by Todd at the same time too. I mean, he kept his cool, he kept losing base after base, and drops were annoying him all over the place, but he kept his cool and just kept on macroing and preparing for the late game, and he was able to take it in the late game. So we have two players who played really well, but just with a different focus.
Yeah, Todd, his drop defense was really quite solid. Yes, he lost the third base a couple of times, but Krass was really taxing him to the absolute maximum with just dropping all of the time. And Todd, he coped with that well. He teched up, he got his upgrades nicely, and in the end, just as you said, pushed him in the late game and won with one really good engagement. The big thing for Krass, though, is while he built so many command centers everywhere on the map, he didn't actually, after his fourth base, decide to build any or float any to mineral lines.
And that is what was a little bit, actually not just a little bit, that's what was his main problem. He wasn't even maxed out, Maddles. He was at 180 supply when he was pushing into Todd. And he was like, yeah, well, I basically have to push. I've got a really good army, but I'm not going to be able to replenish it because I don't have any additional bases. Oh, nice lift there on the supply depot. The probe almost got in and was almost able to get a full scout on Krass, but Krass just barely getting that supply depot up in time. No scouting information for you, Todd.
Now, of course, in game one, this no scouting information was basically the precursor to the fact that it was a 1-1-1 play out of Krass. But this game, there's no gas down, so it's probably going to be a one-rack command center. So a little bit of mind games going on. I like the fact this probe is coming here to drop a pylon. This is a great place to place it, because then you can see any drops that could be coming straight over towards the main base.
I think this pylon is too early to just be a scouting pylon. Or maybe it's not. The probe is going back home. For a second, I thought we might see a proxy Stargate here, which is a viable strategy in Heart of the Swarm. Once more, it used to be viable in Wings of Liberty quite a bit as well. You know, the proxy Void Rays used to be really strong. But I don't think he's going to build a Stargate there. It's just for scouting, as you pointed out, Manos.
Yeah, it's a cool little trick I've seen a lot of Protoss players do. It's because this map is so vulnerable to getting airplay, drop play, or anything like that. Really, Todd just wants to make sure that none of those shenanigans do go down. Todd's also running off with 2 gas at the moment with 2 probes in each, and looks now to be moving down to take his Nexus. So both players expanding, but obviously a lot better tech is going to be on the way for Todd. And Krass even getting up his third CC very early on.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier, the quick 3cc play, that is a little bit less common, because you actually are going to have to build a lot of Marines to be able to defend against the Zealot, Stalker, sometimes 2 Stalkers, and the Mothership Core push. So let's see if that's what's going to be coming out of Todd. He still has a Stalker in his main base because he doesn't know what Krass is up to, but when he sees this bunker on the high ground, I think he should be getting that Stalker out of the main base and maybe try to poke the front a little bit.
Yeah, well, he runs up with that Zealot, doesn't actually see that there is the command center down, but you can assume that it could be there, or at least it's very likely to be there. And from game one, we saw that there was no mind games from Krass putting the bunker on the low ground to try and fake the expansion. So now we've got that Mothership Core coming over, and the one problem with this quick third command center build is that with so few Marines, Oracle play can be incredibly strong, and luckily Todd isn't going for that, but instead this Mothership Core is going to be able to do okay. And really, if Todd decides to start taxing Krass into multitasking, it'd be a very interesting turn of events.
Just imagine a Mothership Core and 2 Oracles flying into the base right now. What is he going to have to defend? 7 Marines.
It wouldn't go too nicely.
No, that's going to be one of the downfalls of going the quick.
Money scan. That scan just saw so... Well, it saw that the additional gateway was coming down. Didn't unfortunately see the the second and third gate though, but saw the robotics facility. So straight away, Krass knows he's safe from airplay.
Yeah, he's safe from airplay, knows there's no super early DT play coming his way. That's going to make him a little bit safer. He is building an engineering base, so could still get that turret up just to be extremely safe. I mean, we see it so many times. That turret, if it's not useful in the early or mid game, it can still be useful late game because a lot of Protoss players throw down that Dark Shrine because it's so cheap to build right now. It's a lot cheaper than it used to be in Wings of Liberty, so you can kind of casually just throw out a Dark Shrine. Casually.
It's like, you know what? Impulse buy it. Just impulse buy the Dark Shrine because you never know the DTs could pay for themselves, and if not, you've got Archons. So that's all fine. Meanwhile, we've got the 3rd and 4th gas on its way up for Todd. And for Krass, he's just starting away on Stim and also the +1. So it could be some kind of +1 Stim push. That is very, very potent. Still in the expansion, so we'll wait to see what does come down. And the Dark Shrine is now getting started.
Did you see how casual that was?
It was just a really casual Dark Shrine, ultimately, wasn't it? It's like, DTs, I hear they're good units.
Aha, DTs, yeah, so let's get some of those. No, of course, this wasn't really the casual Dark Shrine I was talking about. This is actually a really aggressive strategy by Todd. He's going to be dropping the Dark Templar with his robotics facility with that Warp Prism. So he's going to be building a Warp Prism, floating it over, and then warping in a lot of DTs, which is a strategy that was used in Wings of Liberty quite a bit as well. And it is even easier to do in Heart of the Swarm, because that Dark Shrine, like we pointed out about 20 times this cast, is so much cheaper.
Now that Warp Prism is making its way across. There is a single patrolling Marine though, so that's a bit of a problem. And what I'm waiting to see is whether we get this pylon used to warp in a couple of DTs and Zealots, loaded up to go for the drop and then the additional warp in, or whether Todd just goes a bit more passive and waits for the move out. But as we can see now, a Hallucinated Phoenix coming in just to get a quick look around the base, see what's coming down. The Observer for Todd though has already seen most of it, so that Hallucinated Phoenix is a bit of an interesting choice.
He is pulling the Marine away, though. I think maybe that's what he was aiming for. The pylon in the middle of the map has been spotted by Krass, so he has taken that out. Krass has a bit of a supply lead, but he has had a supply lead in the last game too. The DTs are now warping in, Manos. He's flying into the main base, and the Marine is out of position. The Marine is no longer in position to deal with this Warp Prism, so it's not going to be spotted immediately.
Nope, but those 3 DTs already in here. There is not enough energy for... Well, there is now just enough energy for a scan on the natural command center, but is it going to go down in time, or will a mule get cooled down? That's what I'm waiting to see. It still hasn't been used. The DT's coming in. The rest is just splitting around everywhere, so it's going to take 2 scans at least to clean these all out, and Krass in a bit of an issue.
He is in some trouble. He does. Did he just drop a mule or use a scan? What the hells? He just used up all his energy on his natural. There's another scan. The DT in the main base is going to get cleaned up, but it got 8 kills before it died. And there's another DT working on this tech lab. No combat shields for you. That is huge.
Yep, no combat shields. There's a DT down at the 3rd base as well. There's more DTs running around somewhere else as well. I can hear a 3rd one swiping away at stuff. It is in the mineral line, and of course, still 1 more remains. More missile turrets are getting thrown down as a bit of an emergency response, but Todd, he's killed 16 workers this game. That is sick.
Another 5 seconds before another scan becomes available, so this DT, already up to 4 kills, is going to get a few more. Might be able to cancel out this missile turret as another quick victory, and that's probably the last SV he's going to be killing before he gets cleaned up.
That's fine though. It was 4 DTs in the end for 18 workers, and obviously delaying that combat shield. That was a nice little push, to be honest. That was really, really good for Todd. He might still be behind, but he secured his 3rd base behind this as well. So when you combine all of those factors, I'd say Todd, definitely worthwhile, playing really, really nice at the moment.
Yeah, Todd is in a good position right now, but this attack, these 3 medevacs actually
there's another DT.
Oh, there is actually working on the 3rd base right now. That's going to be annoying for Krass. He's going to have to defend and attack at the same time. Here come the medevacs. There is a significant army for Todd right now, but it doesn't really have that much punch yet. This could be the timing that Krass was hoping for, but no, he's not even going to try. He might lose the medevac here.
No, just gets away. Unfortunately, the Zealot's blocking the path. Now, the DT chipping away at the 3rd was taken out, but I believe that was the 4th scan that Krass has had to use to deal with these DTs. That is, roughly speaking, around 1,000 minerals that will never come.
Yep, some, a lot of lost quick minerals, of course, for Krass. In the end, he will be able to mine out those minerals and still get the 1,000 minerals. But right now, he's going to have a bit of a lump in his income because of all those scans he had to use. He's going to be catching a few probes here. That's good for him. But he might end up losing this entire army. The Stalkers are so close, and the boost has already been used, so the medevacs are not going to be as quick as they could be. They're not going to make as speedy of a retreat, and the Stalkers might be able to catch one of them.
Yeah, we can see a lot of damage being done here. The Chargenauts are trying to close up the distance. The Medivacs are staying up and boost out. That was a brilliant little play out of Krass, actually. And Todd not being able to pick off any of the Medivacs meant that that quick retreat, highly potent. And both players now on 3 bases and another double drop heading towards the main.
Yeah. There it is. There it is. It was a little bit further back. The factory in the natural is now going to get taken out, so no more easy scouting for Krass. There's units already in position. Actually, this observer is going to be flying right into those medevacs, and they're not moving in yet. They were just parked there for a second because Krass was attacking that third base again.
Well, here comes the boost, but it looks like Todd didn't notice because he's moving across the map at the moment, so his army is going to have to pull back. There is the mass recall, but of course there's that 5 seconds before it can do anything, so a nice little bit of damage being done there, but now going to have to hightail it out of there very quickly indeed. One of the medevacs does go down, the second one is probably going to die as well, and that got shut down very hard. Nice mass recall there, just showing how effective that can be, but a push coming into the third, Lolian.
Yeah, he cannot recall to his third base right now. He doesn't have the energy to go there, so he is going to end up losing the third again. This is the first game all over again in game 2 here. Krass once again showing off his insane multitasking and shutting down bases of Todd. But as we saw, Todd can perfectly deal with that in game 1. So if this game continues, Todd might still be fine.
Yeah, the big difference from game 1 as well is the fact that Todd went for that DT aggression early on and killed 20 workers. So even though he's lost that base, he's still killed double the amount of workers of his opponent. He's still up there with an equal worker count. The only problem now is that he is going to be on a base down for a little while. But again, I don't think Todd's worrying too much because if we look at the resources lost, he's lost about 1,000 less than his opponent.
As we see another drop out of Krass in the main base of Todd once more. I'm actually getting tired of saying this, but this drop is super effective. It is going to kill the Robo and kill a Colossus, more importantly. Wow, that are some huge pickoffs there. So only 2 Colossi on the field right now for Todd. These drops, man, he might even be able to get the Forge.
The Forge is going to go down. The upgrade did not get cancelled, I don't think. So that is very, very frustrating. And now with these medevacs lifting up, they're going to hightail it out of there. But Todd is yet again just being pinned forward, and there's a push coming in towards the new third base.
Oh, this new third base could easily get taken out, but Krass actually being greedy, going up to the natural. Wow. I'm not sure what he was hoping to achieve there. Is he still going to be able to pick up this new third base of Todd?
It depends. He's stutter stepping back. He's going to try and go for it, and he will now get it. But he's losing quite a few units as a result of this. The medevac's loading up and now boosting it out of there. So this is relentless play. There's also those 2 medevacs behind the main, which could go in. We've got Krass moving up towards the top of the map as well, just attacking at every angle. Unfortunately, the Stalkers are going to close down these medevacs. One gets taken down. That was a bit of a careless mismove by Krass there. Should have taken them to safety.
It was the most empty medevac though, so he didn't really lose that much. And Krass coming in to kill the third base again. He's like, yar! Oh wait, there's no third base for me to kill here. He's desperately trying to keep Todd on 2 bases and doing a good job at it. But the army of Todd's actually starting to become really scary. We've got the Colossi, we've got the Storm on the way. He's still got good upgrades.
Ooh, those medevacs, are they going to make it through? They do. That was a good little boost through. Of course, there's that other medevac down the back as well, which could potentially get used. The High Templar there ready though for a feedback. They could happily take out those medevacs. So we'll wait to see if that goes down. There's the feedback on one. Where's the feedback on the other? There he goes, exploding. And well, this drop does now get cleaned up. But as you said, Krass is keeping his opponent on those 2 bases. Currently, Todd being forced to try and double expand, but the push coming in the front door yet again.
Yeah, here he comes again. No third base for you. That's Krass's motto in this game, and he's doing so well. Dropping into the natural at the same time with his huge army. He might be able to take out the Dark Shrine and a lot of probes. Todd, I think the multitasking is going to be too much for him in this game.
Yeah, this is relentless out of Krass at the moment. We see that the 4th base forced to cancel. The Dark Shrine hasn't yet gone down, but so many probes have got killed this game by Krass at the moment. 37 now dead compared to the 20, and as we can see, it's just relentless pressure. But the important thing is Todd is unable to gain that real sizable force, because that's what lost him in game 1, is that he allowed Todd to build up a good standing army. Whereas this game, if we look at the army supply, 130 to 100 and to just 80 of Todd.
Yeah, so Todd, he's just so far behind in supply right now. Here comes another drop in the main base of Todd. I wonder how many times we've said that this game. Another drop, another drop, another drop, and this base of Todd. He is going to end up losing these medevacs, but that's a fine sacrifice, I'd say. They've done a lot of damage.
They have, and as we can see, the push coming in towards the third. Yet again, a time warp going down, but all the units getting pulled out. Meanwhile, a drop at the natural, a drop at the main base. The forge gets taken out. The robotics bay is about to get taken out as well. And Todd literally has to be in 3 places at once at the moment.
He has. Oh, unfortunately, the Marines and Marauders are no longer focusing on the robotics bay. That would have been a nice pick-off to make. I mean, it's expensive, takes a long time to build, and it enables you to make Colossi. And meanwhile, though, Todd is kind of doing a desperation push right now with 5 Zealots and a Colossus or 2. That's basically his entire standing army right now. There's no way Krass can end up losing this game anymore. Todd hardly has anything left. He only has 33 workers.
Yeah, those 33 workers compared to the 68 of Krass is hugely, it's hugely problematic. And Todd, they're pretty absurd. These drop plays, they were incredibly frustrating, but he is doing so well. Seriously, just dropping everywhere relentlessly. And if you tax your opponent's multitasking this much, it just ends up being in this sort of situation where you're double your opponent's supply.
I can just imagine being Krass and looking at the when Heart of the Swarm came out and see the boost ability on the Medivacs, and he probably thought it was Christmas. I mean, this guy played Medivacs in Wings of Liberty in every matchup versus anyone, and he did it really well. And now he's got this boost ability, and he's even better at his micro and multitasking. So this guy, man, he's got to be feeling pretty good about this boost ability. That boost ability, definitely a big part of him about to win this game.
It's a huge part of it. And the other little thing about the drop, which we didn't pick up on earlier, was that the Templar archives researching Storm got depowered. So there was a good couple of minutes where it wasn't researching. That's knocked, of course, Todd's tech back even further. But Krass is moving forward now. A photon overcharge going down, but with a 90 supply advantage. This push is going to be so hard to stop. Some EMPs are likely to go down soon. Are they going to hit on the high tempo? They are all pumped up. And the answer is not yet.
Here they come. A few storms going to be landing, but Paul just doesn't have the army. There's no way. The Vikings come in, and they're going to be able to kill the Colossi. A few of them. Actually, it's actually quite a good fight for Todd. I mean, considering the amount of units he had, he's doing really well. Good storm.
The problem was he had good storms, but there just wasn't enough stalkers, and Todd is now leveled out 1-1. So not even a GG there. Clearly Todd not too happy about that, but that drop play was ridiculous. So that was game 2. We'll be back after a quick ad break with game 3. Make sure you check out at ESET UK Masters and also at Lurlian and at Maddles SC2. See you in game 3 in just a second.